AFC Wimbledon were promoted to League One after a final day win against my beloved Grimsby. They went on to beat Notts County and Walsall in their run to win the playoffs, and now they set themselves for the third tier. However, have lost some players and look extremely weaker, giving them a huge task to actually stay in the division. As today, reaching the end of FC25, we go back to the low tiers of English football to rebuild Wimbledon to hopefully take them back to the big time, where they belong historically. As welcome back, people, to this team right here, which I can't lie, doesn't float my boat. Not liking how it's gone for them. They have got new signings in here like Bishop, and on loan, a Simway, who we used previously. In a good save we did. They've got a really sturdy defence. And down here we have the new signings like Orsi, like Antoine Hackford, only 21-year-old, Alifa Smith, Steve Seddon. And I've not finished saiding what we've got to do today. Pretty poor joke, that one. But we are going to try and take Wimbledon to the Champions League. And we're starting off with our best player being Nathan Bishop, then Matthew Stevens. Good striker, this kid. Or he's not a kid anymore, he's 27. We've got the likes of Omar Bougiel, who's a handful, a new signing from Lincoln Alistair Smith. Like I said, and at the moment, they're actually not doing too bad in the division. That being League One, but they're expected by everyone to finish rock bottom. Really not fancied in this league, as we have gone ahead and used life points. We've still got Charlton, I'm pretty sure I saw. Yep, Derby. Huddersfield. It is not going to be easy, and this could be a long save, as £3 million to start off with. Have we started with an academy? Well, I can tell you right now, yes, we have, but it's not great. We've got Joseph Williams and also Marcus Fuller, who actually can't be promoted. We've got Alexandra Dyer, because the aim for this first season, like I just alluded to, is to stay up. Avoid going back down to League 2, where MK Dons, the rivals, sit. The fierce rivals. And before we actually get any players signed, Johnny Jackson is the manager, and he made them have the best defensive record in League 2 last season. Or at least at one point he did, and I do want to break away from the 5 at the back. However, keep the 3 defenders going to the 3-4-1-2. Risky business, I know, but I do want the 3 at the back to stay together, 2 holding mids, 2 strikers, and a cam, as James Tilley actually just left them, one of their good players who did play in the cam position. Simway's definitely not going to play there. We've got Hippolyte, who can go either wing. We've got Seddon, who I'm going to try and make that left midfielder. And we've also got Marcus Brown, a player I actually forgot about because he doesn't have a face picture. I don't like it when people don't have them, so Seddon's probably going to, well, he's going to actually stay in. I'm going to put him onto that left-hand side. He's going to train as a left mid, and we can put our money into a cam and contracts, because a lot of this squad is expiring, including them defenders, so we've got to get signed up Riley Harbottle, and the others, some retiring, and we also don't have a backup keeper as £2 million left. 2 million isn't much to sign a class cam with, as I am looking in the division below. Jack Aitchinson's pretty good. They've also got Odin Bailey down here. How have Stockport actually been relegated? I never know why FC do it so much. Dan Butterworth, Dan Crowley, Bradley Dack, ex-Blackburn Rovers. However, season 1, I'll play it smart. I'll go cheaper with Jack Lancaster, and then also get another keeper in, because we do need one in Gabriel Breeze. As there's one addition who works his way straight into the team, does Jackie Boy. A very decent player for Crew. I think he suffered an injury last season. With Breezy on the bench, 63 overall at 22. Maybe just stays as a backup, as Danilo Orsi isn't. A hero for me, personally, for Grimsby Town beating Southampton in the FA Cup a few seasons back, and that makes our team a little better. We are going to be losing the captain Jake Greaves to retirement, and I have no idea how he's improved, despite being 32. We loaned out players like Sidwell, Dyer, and the other youth player we promoted, Joseph Williams, +7 to a 63. And that's our right-hand side player covered. We have Brown, who could go to the left, and also Seddon, and now Kelly, who stays the same rating. Shame, I thought it'd be better, and our top scorer was Danilo, 30 unfortunately, but 31 goals himself. As the ex-Grimsby striker, maybe the reason we are staying up, because unlike Bradford and Donny going straight back down, we will stay in this division. 49 points. I think we're pretty clear. More clear than I actually thought we would be. But now we need to go from thinking about relegation to promotion, as anything is possible, as shown by Forest and Norwich. Not the FA Cup I expected, and in the FA Cup third round, we actually beat Spurs. Not the biggest underdog story of this year. Alluding to my team, Grimsby Town, and we only just lost to Wolves. 2 Prem teams faced, but we lose to Crew in the first round of the Carabao, and I had no idea they were in our league. Stoke City win the BSM trophy. They surely won our division, as we lost to Oxford United. If we're going to get in that top 6 next season, we've got to drastically improve, and hopefully get an improvement to our budget in order to spend money, as I've just spent it on FC25 to hopefully bring you guys some more videos going into next year, which I aim to do as soon as possible. But if you could do us a favor, we're trying to hit 60,000 as soon as possible. If you do, like and subscribe. Makes not only a difference to me, but a difference to the entire channel. As let's go and get our lone boy. He's got a 60 rated, and the other one's not here. And that's because he's already on the bench, is Williams. Get him straight into the team, although Brown might still play. We've got Dyer, who can work his way in over Smith and Maycock, who is the first player to get replaced. And now I know our defense is our best positions, but these three won't get us up the leagues. They're getting older, or should I say they're all past 25. As one bright idea we could try, it's going to take a few weeks, but Alexander Dyer to be a centre-back, because he's blessed with a left foot. Left-footed centre-backs are hard to find. Also, Asimwe still at the club. Maybe I made a mistake on actually making him a permanent here. I mean, I'll try and make him a centre-back and see what we can do with the rest of our budget. Is only 2 million. Are you actually having a giggle, Wimbledon? For a team with some rich history, the crazy bunch aren't so crazy when it comes to giving us a budget. So the free agents, not something I wanted to look at, but something unfortunately we might have to do, as Adama, Kamara. I do want to keep this realistic with some Englishmen and Welsh and Scottish, as I have found a Scotsman who's still relatively young. We've got Finlay Robertson, only 23, along with Dave Barkley, this guy only 17, and an Irishman this time, not a Scotsman like the other two, in Jake Doyle Hayes. Really going to town with the free agents, making me think let's stop with them, because they've drastically improved us. I mean, Deutsch Hayes has in the midfield. Barkley at 17 years of age. He is perfect. And on the bench, where's Dyer gone? If we actually don't loan him out, got a pretty stacked bench as well. And this will sound stupid because Danilo Orsi was the top scorer last season, but if we can get him out, get another young striker in, like I said in the first season, we should be fine, because we've got this man who submitted a transfer request, but I don't want to sell Hackford. He's only 22. So sorry, Dan, 1 million offered by a relegated Plymouth is more than acceptable for me, so I hope he goes and enjoys his football elsewhere, as hopefully we put free agents behind us now, because we've managed to scrape a budget together to sign one big player as welcome to the club from Hibernian Kieran Bowie. And right then, okay, we've got the Flying Scotsman we did just sign for almost 2 million, up to a 73, he came in at a 71. He's fast, he's strong, just like the new signings we've made and the youngster in Williams, but when we look at the back, and Barkley is glistening at a 73, it kind of makes it look bad, because it looks like Lewis and Johnson and even Bishop have been left behind, which obviously can affect our form, as now we need maybe another left mid for next season. Steve Seddon at a 70, but he's getting older, and I did loan out Alexandra Dyer. Now, I still do want to make that change to a centre-back with him, same as Nasimwe, or maybe I just sell him, because it was on a loan deal, and I don't understand how he's actually ended up here permanently. Maybe a mistake I actually made, because I did change the players around myself, as Stevens, 18 goals, Bowie 16, Hackford 13. Wouldn't mind him coming good as players in the team of the year. Well, there is one from the rivals in Anchor, but no one else. From us, as Kone is a player I did look at signing, but then obviously in real life he's gone to QPR, so I thought, no, I'll go for Kieran Bowie. A player who, correct me if I'm wrong, scored a Puskas-worthy goal the other week for Hibernian, as that is drastically an improvement on last season into the top 4. I didn't see Wickham up there or Peterborough last year. Same with Bolton. I saw Oxford, I saw Wrexham, and they're below us in the playoffs, which definitely sounds good to me. And if we can make it to the Championship, Middlesbrough made it to the FA Cup finale, showing anything's possible. I said the same thing last year, but this time we lose to Newport, and we lose to QPR in the Carabao round 2 after beating Grimsby, my team, on penalties. And I'm just hoping we get some more cup money. As at the bottom, Orsi's new team, Plymouth Argyle, were the ones to beat us, but in the playoffs, we beat Oxford 4-2 before rushing into a final and getting the Wombles to the Championship. What a challenge for these lads. Now we're actually in the second tier after 2 seasons with Everton, Luton, they've always got a good team on paper. Wolves are down there, and of course, no, I'm not checking the Europa Conference. I did see at the bottom that Wickham, of course, who won our division, are here. So these will be our biggest rivals to try and survive, and they do have Richard Kone now at a 76, which probably does get them to survive. They've got some 70+ rated players. It's funny because most of these have actually left in real life. And speaking of leaving, James Tilley has been released by Wickham, who was an ex-Wimbledon player, left them in the summer prior to this rebuild, and was a huge player, ex-Mariner, as now the budget in the Championship has magically sprung up. We've got 8 million instead of a measly 2. And in all honesty, I am very glad, because I want to make some wholesale changes to this defence. We can take, well, Johnson out straight away. For Harbottle, although we don't have a left footer in here, we've got Dyer coming through the ranks. We've got Bishop we could replace. Breeze we obviously didn't sign long ago. Brown should be okay. We could do with another central defender to add to what we already have, because I want to get another one in. Plenty of midfielders at the club, so Dyer, well, let's see how he trains first before we actually loan him out. 105 weeks, so might be better still loaning him. Maybe stuck as a midfielder. A hard tackling one is Dyer. A bit like Eric, as we will also sell Nathan Asimwe. Let's make some cash. Let's get him out the squad as 2.195 mil to Nashville over in America. That's enough for another player, as another position I haven't thought of is Cam, because Lancaster was never really young. He is 27, and on the bench, there is no other Cams in the entire squad. Never mind just the reserves, as this player I was actually looking at when we did sign Robertson last season, another ex-Dundee character, because I think he kicked off when he actually left. But Lyle Cameron, I think as a cam, he would connect the Scotsman in midfield and up front. In Robertson and Bowie, and also Barkley at the back. We've got a Scottish theme going, and this is going to be our big money move. 5 million spent by the Dons. That is the same amount as our budgets put together from season 1 and 2, as he's going to be training as our starting attacking midfielder, which is really harsh on Lancaster, but it had to happen. He had to go down here, as now I think cheekily Stevens survives as we focus on defenders. Or defenders and a goalkeeper, as Rosen Bozinov is the first before we go ahead and sell Nathan Bishop, giving us 3.1 million for a new goalkeeper, which will be reinvested into the league where he's just come from, in the goalkeeper, Nenecha. Very good goalkeeper, Brazilian as well, so he links with the best. In Allison, in Edison, and may fit with the tactical tweak we've got to do at some point to change this around, as if we did have a right back, we could put Seddon into the defence with Bozinov, who is brilliant, a top player at Antwerp. Now Lewis needs replaced, and I think next season it is a striker, a midfielder and a defender, and then let them grow, hopefully getting us to the Premier League. So I did change Lyle Cameron immediately to a cam once the season started, to actually get him to an 80 overall. Brilliant, as we're being carried by the Scottish players and Stevens, who may stay at the club depending on on what the budget is next season. But yes, we do need another striker than them other two positions I said. As let's face it, we should not be going to the Prem this season with the squad we have. And we are not. It's kind of fair. It's a 14th place position. So bottom half of the championship. And then going down, Sunderland. They haven't played a game. And then going up, it is Everton, Burnley, getting rid of two very strong teams. There's Wolves up there as well. So hopefully they go through in the playoffs. Clear out some teams for us, as I spoke badly on Wickham earlier in the save, and they've actually made it to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, as we crashed out to West Ham in round 2. Oh dear. Or in round 1 of the Carabao, Blackpool. That's not good, because you know my focus next season 100% is on the budget, and trying to do the 2-for-2 bounce with AFC Wimbledon. And what I mean by that is spending 2 seasons in League 1, 2 in the Championship, as many as we can in the Premier League, as £9 million. And I mean, we did find Neneka or Neneka at 3 million or less than that. So if we can split the 9 million into 3 positions, the ones you will see circled on screen, without having to sell them, we really could go for maybe a playoff place. I'm not going to expect automatic promotion, but then I am going to change the tactics because we don't want shadow strikers, etc. in this team. I want to go like this. I want to try and improve Joseph Williams, get him into the attacking line, with now Cameron going as a half winger, and Seddon covering defending. He is 30, he's not going to do the running that Cameron will obviously do. Then play 2 midfielders through the middle. So we're going to need a centre mid who actually runs the show, a box to box. And the man I actually had in mind was Yasin Ayari, but he's improved too much. So maybe someone like this, he's got pace, he's got passing, dribbling and physicality, well-rounded stats. Yago Palacios. Someone running out of their contract, so we've got him cheaper than that 3 million, giving us chance to put a bit of that extra cash towards a different position. In that striker role, as yes, we've got 3 we could sell one of, but I'm actually not going to do that. Matthew Stevens has been perfect for us, and not put a foot wrong, as now on the bench we have 2 midfielders. So if we do just sell one of these, maybe we go for Smith. And the captain, Joe Lewis, because his stock should still be higher than Harbottle's and Johnson's. But harsh it's going to be on him. But we could use the money, so goodbye to Joe. And goodbye to Alistair, 2 day oneers. Taking our budget somehow to £12 million. Giving us more than enough for some very capable replacement players. And then up front, I kind of want to give myself a pat on the back for finding San Bin Jong at Mumbai City. Who is this lad? Came in at a 74, so slightly overpaid, but he was trapped at one of the worst teams in the entire game at a 74 rating, so I thought that was a pretty marvellous goddamn pickup, as when we look at ratings, if I can flick to them, the highest is Lyle Cameron, then Barkley, then Bowie. Our Scotsmen are flying. You could call them flying Scotsmen, as then Seddon's up there with goals. Bowie got 29, Jean got 9, and a few assists from Lyle Cameron, which you expect. And this team is one of the best balanced ones we've had in a very long while. Yes, Cameron is the front runner in rating, but everyone else is around the same. No one lower than 75, and that is the next position to go out. It can put Seddon down onto the bench at 31. Brilliant backup, but not a starter, as we've done it. We've actually gone and goddamn done it. The season's not even over. There's 3 more games yet to play, but we cannot be caught. Wimbledon, yes, we don't get a trophy this time round, but will be a Premier League team, racing all the way from League 2, which, let's not forget, they just got promoted from. In real life, and no cup runs, lost in round 3 to a London rival, and then West Ham, another London rival in the Carabao, this time only in round 2. So we won't be getting much money in a league that I do want to compete in, as this is a kind of new graphic, or one we don't really see much. We never actually get the cutscene, but the player of the year for the championship is Kieran Bowie. Very good from him, as now, like I say, literally one change that I immediately want to make is getting a new left midfielder in, as Brown set to leave us, and I had no idea I had an in-game face, meaning we have only that position open. We have Doyle Hayes, who's the captain, and the captain's curse could strike because he's 30-year-old, a centre mid, kind of need a younger one, because look at the ages of our defensive line. Them four probably here for the long term, especially Barkley, which we already know. We've got a youngster out on the right. Jong, not the youngest of players, but I trust him more than I do trust the other guy, Seddon, who's gone onto the bench, and 36 million. Usually you get teams coming up with a lot of money to spend, like Sunderland have, also like Aston Villa did. Nottingham Forest, another one of those. But then you also get the teams that come up differently and sign key players. I know West Ham didn't technically come through, but they signed Dimi Payet, who carried them from the left mid position. As I feel we need a standout there. I don't mind splashing all the cash on someone to go on that side, so I am going to search in League On. And I think I have found just the player, but before we actually go and get him, I'm going to change our style. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to be a counter-attacking team. Survival's going to be our only aim. We cannot take the championship. We have got to stay up here, like the board say, and maybe an FA Cup run could be good. No continental success, which is good, because I want this new player to help us get there. As welcome to the club, Nicolas Lejeune, who you haven't heard of, because this man is a regen, you guessed it, and he's 25.5 million out of our back pocket, and probably the last regen, but he's got 5-star skills. 92 pace, only 18 years of age, reminding me of a certain someone that came from the French Ligue 1 to Chelsea, so we've got quite a few regens. Yes, I think that is enough. As if you're wondering where the rest of the money went to, we had to obviously pay higher contracts. Now we are a Premier League club, and that left us with only 2 million. And I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game. I always think we just need to survive going into the first season in the top flight, but 17 wins. This season's above Liverpool, I believe. Yes, there they are, Manchester United and Chelsea. West Ham up here as well. I mean, Everton even got into the Champions League positions. But us on a -2 should be in the Conference League. Everton took 13 defeats though and got into the UCL, so anything is possible, as I wish a trophy was. There we are down there with Leicester, 3-1 losing to the Foxes. And a quarter-final of the Carabao, the closest we've ever come. West Ham were to beat us, then they got hammered by Arsenal, so we're a long way off the traditional top 6. The teams like Arsenal, but what quality have we got in this team to be up there? Now, Banks isn't an 80, Doyle's Hales isn't as well. Jong's just snuck over that line, he's now 28, but the new signing, Lejeune, an 83, and I didn't see Williams at an 86. The day one youth player from our own academy is the second top scorer behind Kieran Bowie, the Scotsman, who's done brilliantly, 22 goals, player of the year last time in the championship, carries on his form in the Prem. Has he made the team of the season with them stats? Well, no, he hasn't, but Cameron has. The Cam in our lineup, who I thought for a second right there had grabbed player of the year, but it isn't. It's Diaz of Liverpool, and not Diaz, but he is another Colombian winger. Very shocked to see him. He must be starting ahead of Cody Gakpo. And Callum Scanlon, who unfortunately hasn't got his time in the team at Liverpool, who we did finish above. Very surprised to actually see that. And maybe we could sign from the likes of Liverpool, maybe them teams that flopped. Man United, them and Chelsea. But oh my days, our budget. Now, if we are actually in Europe and we've only been given 18 million, I'm going to flip out. I'm honestly going to flip this entire desk over, which you guys can't even see, so that would not be very good content. And Conference League, we've got to reach the finale, the board say. And honestly, if that was the truth, why don't you bloody back me for it, as I think it's the captain's curse. We've got to try and sell Doyle Hales to try and get some more money in, as we could do with some more defenders, because in Europe, Harbottle as our only backup man is pants. It's not good. It is not great at all, but I cannot bring myself to sell Williams or even Lejeune. Still at only 19, but maybe he's a streets won't forget player. Maybe we just treat him like someone who was too good for us. He had one standout season, got us into Europe, and then has to move on for the betterment of the club, because look at that. 108 million. Nothing more I could squeeze out of them, and definitely helps the club, does this money. Taking our budget to only 97 million. Okay, the board have pocketed some in their ruthless nature, as let's go and get a left left mid, and like I said, them teams that we finished above, the likes of Manchester United, must have some quality. However, out wide, Rashford and Sancho both over 30. Not what I want to see, so maybe we just look for a centre mid. And Kobe Mainu, release clause almost half his evaluation, almost out of contract as well. Man United have screwed him over, just like they have in real life. The only criticism I have of Amorim, and the fact he lost to my club Grimsby Town, lol. As Kobe joins the crazy bunch, and instead of replacing Doyle Hales and some other defenders on the bench, I'm going to scout in League One. Risk no defenders for hopefully a decent reward on the wing. Welcome Clement Bischoff. He is now just one rating over what Lejeune was, and he is 6 years older than him, so not great. Also, what's not great is the man next to him who hasn't grown too much, but the rest of them up front good. And our defence obviously didn't have many on the bench. However, the defenders we do have are brilliant in Barkley, Banks and Bozinov, all the Bs, which I didn't realise. Triple B, we can call them the Triple B batteries at the back, because they've literally not stopped. There's no one else to play there, as Lyle Cameron, 90 overall, Kieran Bowie's at 87 with 35 goals, then Williams gets a lot, Cameron and Mainu. The assist kings, however, none of them have made the team of the year. That is quite disappointing, and so is the league table. What is it with 15 defeats and a -2 goal difference? We've done it again, as Fulham finish above us, Man United second with 11 defeats. It was not a good Premier League table at all, as in the FA Cup. We need to either win the Conference League or the Carabao to get into the Champions League, but no. The Conference League won't do it for us. We're going to be in the Europa, as Aston Villa beat us in the FA Cup, and they actually won the Carabao, beating us in the semi-finals of that trophy, which I'm hoping gives us a bigger budget. If this competition hasn't done already, as no defeats, which I expected really with our ratings, but still finishing 10th is not good. Not good at all. We did hammer our opponents, making it all the way to the semis and losing to Olympique Marseille, who, to be fair to them, won the whole thing. And this season, without a doubt, we're looking weak, but we've got to get some defenders in. Antoine Hackford can be the backup striker with 90 pace, despite being a very low rating. And then up front in the actual team, Jean could do with replacing as well. Plenty of positions to go for, but it all depends on this budget. We are in Europe, and hey, 66 is not bad at all compared to what we've been given, as we're only expected to get into the Europa League, but I wanted to get into the UCL, and now we've got to win the Europa. One easy objective and one hard, as the contracts are running out, and if we do need to make any money, Lyle Cameron and Barkley are sat here. At least our youngest are our best ratings as well. Joseph Williams, incredible. Kobe Mainoo's only 26. He should be entering his prime. As one player that left it years ago, Harbottle in League One, meaning we definitely need some defenders, and we definitely could do with getting some cheap ones. As Maxim Andrade for 7 mil is a steal. Coming from Ghent, like this other regen, Alexandra Eriksson. A pair used to playing with each other, one left-footed, one right. A perfect little find over in Belgium, but we're not done there. Our old Belgian is of course gone. We could go for another left midfielder, also a midfielder, but I do want to go striker, like I said. John on the bench just fits. We need someone into the first team. However, contracts must be paid, and these will cost a lot. Now we're in Europe, as Lyle Cameron demanding almost 100k more a week, which has crippled our budget, so down to 19 million we go again. Making me actually think, if we just get into Europe this season, John can go on the bench next year. We can replace Seddon to reinforce our bench with Billy Blacker from Sheffield United, and then replacing Breeze, the backup keeper, with Carlos Miguel. And there we have it, ladies and gents. Sometimes it's not about signing the big players, just getting the bench players, getting a squad together, like Arsenal are trying to do in real life, signing a player for every single position. Man United stacking up on cams, we stack up on a Premier League. For the first time in this save, we've avoided all the domestic cups, which I've wanted to win and gone for the big one, as Arsenal win the FA. And Man City beat Preston in the Carabao Cup, in which we lost to Liverpool, because guess what? We lost to Liverpool in both this time round. Just like last year, we lost to Aston Villa, and I'm hoping for Europa League success. I've just flown to the semi-finals and we have won them. Over Galatasaray, that's a good job scoring 5 goals, but no. At least we won the Premier League, but we bottled the Europa League final against Lyon, a team just like us in previous seasons. Don't have money, as this is our team. We have had to trust Jong. Palacios is growing slowly, but we've got some 90 rateds around the squad. And Barkley must have been injured, as this is the first time in any save I've seen a regen gone down 1. He's 23, -1. Yes, it must have been an injury, as Andrade must have stepped in on the right-hand side despite being left-footed, and he's got potential to be special. Nothing really to be moaning about. I brought in Carlos Miguel as a backup keeper. He's my favourite in the game because he's 6'8", and another Brazilian beast. As Bowie netted 33, Cameron 22, Williams 21, and we're into the Champions League, hoping to net the Champions League trophy. As we know, the only business we've got to do, I'm speaking really quickly because I just know we have to be rapid with it, replacing Jong, and I am not talking with Hackford. Palacios could go as well, but I am going to trust in him because he's one of now 3 regen players in that lineup. I saw our bench going down in Doyle, Hales, but Champions League team, Premier League winners, and only £80 million given, as they want us to win the Prem again, win the FA Cup, and win the Champions League, win a treble, which with that budget we've been given is crazy work, as now the team that's been very nice to us, or should I say the nation, is Scotland in this save, and I think the best, or the second best striker behind Doyle, the man I was looking for, is Tommy Conway. He hasn't worked out very well. Daniel Cummings to a 76. George Hurst to a 74. Never really worked out for him. And James Wilson, never heard of him. He's 5'7", costing almost 60 mil on his release clause. No thank you. I'd rather go for somebody better, and I think I've found somebody worthy enough to play for the tricky Wombles in the top division, and Premier League winners, should I say. I said no more regens, but this man is perfect. Tom Willems looking like a Depay regen, and plus Leon did just beat us, so it's nice to sign from them as a payback act, and that is 70 million we've paid for him, or there or thereabouts, as he's going up front with Bowie, with Cameron behind him, with Mainu, with Williams. It's a conscious decision I am making not to mess around with business, as you can see, it didn't really help us win a back-to-back title, but not for the hope of trying. We were 6 points off Arsenal, and it was only draws that let us down. We took 11, they took 8, and we've won that trophy. We don't want it, as we do want the Community Shield. However, we won't get it this season, losing on penalties to the Gunners. Gunning down the Wombles, that sounds like a crime, as Brighton win the FA Cup, and the Carabao goes to Forest over Leicester. A very tasty game, as the Champions League, sorry, where are the big clubs? No offense to Juve and Dortmund and basically all of those, but no Arsenal, City or anyone. West Ham come next. Madrid's down here, Atleti. Oh my days, what a weird UCL campaign. This is as we drew Celta Vigo and hammered them. Then we beat the team that topped the group phase in Marseille. As look at the teams that were there in the UCL semi-finals. I mean, the Italian ones are giants, but we beat one, and then Villarreal beat Juventus to give us a final against the Yellow Submarine side. Spanish outfit Villarreal, as you can see, some okay players. No one stand out like us though, and no one got suspended, but Willems didn't grow at all. Williams did, and Barkley only +1. It looks like the youth that were permanently here through our own academy in Williams have improved, but the rest haven't. As at least we still score goals though, with Bowie getting 35, Williams getting 29, and Willems getting 20. And we are forced to the Bernabeu. Weird move making us go to Spain when they are already a Spanish team. I love the blue kit that we're playing in. And let's hope for a good game where we're not feeling too blue. Oh my days, has that not a pen? How have we just got lucky with that tackle that was terribly timed, but we're not going to get a suspension for it. So let's get going. Palacios, 2 strikers on the field, and Bowie scores them, but there's Kobe Mainu running off him. Kobe Mainu for a goal early on, needed to score it against Lunin in Ngolo's back home, so he should be spurred on at the Bernabeu as a good tackle in the middle of the park. Koiku to Brian Brobby, who kind of imitates Willems up front for us. Both being Dutch strikers, and Palacios hasn't grown too much himself, but the defender's actually getting back. Willems can try and shoot and try and find the opening goal, as now we're going to go short with this pass into Barkley. He went down last season in his rating, but that is a brilliant ball and a brilliant assist. No celebration we get filmed, but it's defender to defender, from right centre-back to left. A header from a corner. Rozen Bozinov scores the opening goal of this finale, and not very expected, but a very fast start. In a game I do expect to win, I'll be honest. I think our shape cuts through them. Really good opponent to get, not a huge side. No offense, Real Madrid fans, but I didn't see Paris, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, or anyone up there in the Champions League this season, as there goes Williams, not to be confused with Willems, and now Rowe. Well, not Rowe, it's Bowie. You can only see the small names. He's running, is the Scotsman, flying. Another good save by Lunin, who himself was flying through the air. Let's try the corner we did try last time. Palacios to the back post. It's in again. It's Kieran Bowie. It is a repeat goal. A carbon copy of the headers at the back post. The tactic working for the Dons all the way from League 2. Just look at that. Floated towards the back stick and perfect. What we needed, in fact, is now Omega. Omega tries to shoot it through, and that is cut out. Now it is Williams going forward again. Bowie, and now Willems. He's onside just before the hour mark, and the defender has dived in. Oh my days, what a terrible pass. And if this was Ultimate Team, despite being 2 goals up, I probably would be raging by now, and that is a good ball into Ben Seguir. Now Kobe Mainu tries to get the block in, head that out wide. Lyle Cameron, first time we've actually saw our Cam this game. He's done more defending than he has done going forward. And I love him for it. It's Palacios. Oh my days, how is the defender not reading that? It is Willems, who cannot mess this pass up again, or the controller goes through a desk. But still he's managed to save the bloody shot. Incredible from Lunin. And now they're going to break away. It is Ben Seguir. Can't tackle him. Can't slide him. He could score for Villarreal. And does. On a counter. As the second time in the game, Willems puts the ball across. And we do not capitalise on an easy opportunity, which could end up costing us the game at this rate. And Willems flashing the ball across. Bischoff winning the header. And now Cameron. Can Cameron cross better? There. Bowie. Back post saved. Incredible. Incredible once again. And now Barkley. He put a great cross in earlier in the game. And he can do again at the back post. Willems. When will the pain end of these easy crosses and chances not going in? As here's Mainu into Willems, who tries to get forward. Lunin only punches it, and referee, I've just noticed the clock blow that whistle, which he does do, meaning the Wombles lift the cup. In a fantastic UCL finale, they land that trophy. Expertly taken goals in this game, and it's going to be Lyle Cameron to lift the trophy. The Cam is the captain, which you usually don't get, but it can't be Harbottle, Joe Lewis, or Ryan Johnson. They all went to the reserves, but they've all played very well IRL. So shout out to them boys, and shout out to the sub count as we're trying to reach 60,000 subscribers. And if you enjoyed, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button.